Hello everyone, this is H to the Husky here. I am going to be casting a 1 versus 1 between our red Terran players spawning down here in the bottom right side. His name is going to be Nova. He is going to be in the clan Stalife, which is a clan that I have seen around before. His opponent is going to be the one and only vile Spanishiwa, and again his name in-game is Spanishiwa. But his actual gamer tag is Spanishiwa. Simply could not fit all those extra letters in there, as there is a digit restriction on how many letters you can have in your name. So that is why it's Spanishiwa. Lots of people are still asking me, why do you call him Spanishiwa, Husky? His name is obviously Spanishiwa. It says it right here. Well, that is true, but his name is technically Spanishiwa. Anyways, this is going to be a TvZ. Did I already mention the map is Typhon Peaks, which this map, if you guys aren't familiar with it, it is one of the maps, newer maps, I would say, on ladder. And just to run through it really quickly, here is your natural like usual. It is fairly far away from the main base. If you count the command center, just how far away you have to go is a fairly long distance. Not the longest I've seen, though. There is a third base down here, which is guarded by some destructible debris right here. Guess it's technically the destructible rocks. And there is, however, a weird entrance down here where you can run units up into here. So there's also double destructible rocks for this kind of fourth entrance, I guess you could call it. So there's a lot of different ways you can open up this map, counterattack, and things like that. Most times on this map you will not see these rocks utilized very heavily, just because of how the map is kind of shaped. Plus you have to kill 2 layers. It's not kind of like a scrap station where it opens up a much shorter distance to your opponent. It's just kind of an interesting way to open up another avenue of attack. So yeah, Spanishiwa going to be moving out with a drone to see exactly what's going on. He does have a hatchery first on the way, and that's going to be going down right there. Spawning pool going down right here. So going to be going his typical macro style, it does seem. This is not a super risky build for Zerg to do, simply because it's not like a Terran player where you get your command center with 400 minerals. The hatchery is 300 minerals, so you can get it a little bit sooner. Your Zerglings still get out extremely early, so it is a slightly risky build. The opponent a lot of times will bunker rush and things like that, rallying their first couple of Marines over there just to harass, try and kill a couple of drones, try and force the drones off the mineral line at the bare minimum. The reason they want to do that, well, it does delay that mining, plus it can put on a lot of pressure and force them to make additional Zerglings, which is just overall less larvae. So we do have 1 Marine in the center. We'll see if he's able to catch up to this drone or not, but I highly doubt that he will, as he is right here and pretty slow. Workers are definitely faster than those Marines, so the chances of actually killing that are fairly slim. The Overlord is going to spot exactly what's going on. Spanishiwa going to run his drone up here to try and see something. Even though he already ran past 1 Marine, is running towards the second. This drone already going down. Unlike that last game where where the Zerg player did not lose a drone for what seemed like 45 minutes. Spanishiwa already losing a drone at 4 minutes into this game, so he is not going to get the best worker safety award at all. I'm just imagining one of those boards that are like minutes without a worker injury, you know, like the workers' comp boards, and Spanishiwa already has to erase it at 4 minutes. So technically going to be behind here, as he did lose that worker. I don't think both players have lost a scouting worker. They have not. Has our Terran player scouted at all with an SCV? Well, it is out in the middle of the map. Probably won't be able to scout too much. Is Overlord going to escape these Marines, wishing they had sniper rifles instead? And the SCV does scout. The expansion had already been completed, as well as a couple of spine crawlers on the way. This is pretty standard for Spanishiwa to do. A couple of Zerglings up here to see exactly what's going on. So both players here playing it pretty safe. I do want to mention the good old Destiny Cloudfist build by Nova, as he does have the medevac on the way, as well as a couple of Hellions going to be popping out here. So here's a pair of Hellions right here. These guys are going to go off and have fun together. Just lifelong friends running side by side through the fields. And now they get to kill Zerglings together. Talk about an undying friendship. This Overlord has somehow managed to sneak his way all the way back into Nova's base. However, it will be in vain, as this Overlord will get taken out with extreme Marine micro to shoot it down. And there we go. These Hellions just trying to do as much map control as possible. And he's also using these to secure both watchtowers, which is really cool. Also has his SCV kind of far right of the watchtower, so he can run away quite quickly. So good play there. However, Spanishiwa, look at this. Reaction is to put his spine crawler in his mineral line. I believe this will cover the entire area back here. That's a really good spine crawler placement right there. And his second one is going to be down here, just kind of forward defense. This will be any sort of attack to the front of his base will be stopped by that spine crawler. However, he does not have a spine crawler in his main. Nope. I'm going to stop myself right there. There is indeed a spine crawler in his main base. However, it is fairly far away, so this drop right here that's about to commence can be utilized in these areas. So you can see that Spanishiwa is going to be moving those units down there already. He does have his standard 4 queens that he loves to get, and does have this spine crawler burrowing right now. I don't know if he's going to have enough time to burrow that. It looks like he will, and this drop really by Nova needs to do a lot of damage here. Spanishiwa is known for getting out a lot of workers. However, the drones have safely ran away, and I believe the spine crawler placement may be too good. It may be almost impossible to kill these queens. Now, one thing that Nova's drop is doing, I mean, of course, he is killing the guys right here. He is also delaying mining in the main base and also preventing these queens from using inject larva. They may not even have enough energy after this drop to use inject larva, simply because it does cost a lot to heal it. 50 health for that transfuse. He is going to be focusing down the medevac, though. Red player a little bit distracted with that attack, does lose his ability to get these units out of here. So we are just going to have to keep an eye on the production tab during this. We do have 2 reactors as well as a Banshee on the way, and this is a very interesting drop by Nova. However, it does look like Spanishiwa going to try and clean it up here with Zerglings. Is the Hellion placement good enough? It looks like the Zerglings will all die, but the Queens do remain. Queens pretty good against Hellions. I mean, the Hellions do have a decent range on them, but without the Marines, they just do not have the DPS to finish the job. The Hellions going to try and slip down here. They do avoid that spine crawler. They will kill a couple of drones as well as these Zerglings right here, which the Zerglings are just used to delay the Hellions from escaping the Queen's Wrath. However, they do just that. Oh, Evo Chamber block going to prevent both of these Hellions from escaping. And I'm pretty sure he'll cancel at least one. Does decide to cancel both. These drones are like, nice little trick there by Spanishiwa to keep those Hellions from getting to the expansion right here. Because even with 3 Hellions getting attacked by the spine crawler, you can still essentially one-shot a lot of drones if you get the angles just right. And we do have some transferring of buildings around here. Curious on the units lost tab. Spanishiwa has lost more units during that. Workers killed. The Terran player only killed 5, and you can see the Spanishiwa style of play is just to make a ridiculous amount of drones. A normal player, I would say, in this situation would be like, okay, I need some more units to hold off any potential counterattack after that. But look what he's doing. He has 2 drones on the way, has restarted those 2 Evo chambers, but in a much easier location to defend. I'm assuming, there we go, behind the mineral line. And he just got the infestation pit. We do have the Banshee harass commencing right now. 3 kills on this one, 1 kill on that Banshee. And this is the play style that's really interesting about Spanishiwa, is he relies on his opponent going for this type of worker harass and stuff like this, because yeah, he just lost a bunch of workers, but guess what? He is still tied with the worker count. He is going to be using his Overseer. This kind of mid-game scouting, so crucial. However, the Overseer's days are numbered, as he just died from flying it directly over a gaggle of Marines, which are just kind of running around in formation there, hutting around, and clean that up. Now, these Banshees do have a lot of energy. However, there is going to be no cloak. The reason Nova, I think, decided not to get the cloak is these Banshees are delayed. He just saw an Overseer there, so obviously he knows that Spanishiwa knows the hotkey to make Overlords, and not only Overlords, but also the detecting unit Overseer. And since it's so late in the game, Overseer is so easy to get at the drop of a hat. But here comes an attack right now from Nova. Nova continuing to be aggressive. I really like this from him, not really giving Spanishiwa a break. However, these queens have so much energy now that it may be difficult to eventually snipe them. This hatchery could potentially go down, especially if he places his Banshees perfectly. However, Fungal Growth on the Marines already at 12 minutes. Going to trap all those units. The hatchery will die. So will all of the Marines. The Banshees, I don't think, are going to get away either. Oh, will this one get away? He's trying to get out of there. He does indeed. The creep almost costing that Banshee its life from just the vision alone. So units lost tab here, still favoring the Terran player. He hasn't lost that many. However, killing that expansion is extremely important. I think Nova is playing this out exactly how you need to. And look at this, Nova. Gonna be going for the Mobius reactor. Get those ghosts out here. Not only can you use them to snipe the infestors, but guess what? EMP works on infestors as well, which, considering Spanishiwa is getting out a lot of infestors right now, we will see just how effective this is going to be. You can see the melee attack level 1 on the way, as well as the armor level 1. Our Terran player about to get stim pack. This is a slightly, I would say, heavily delayed stim pack research time, but that's because he's going for siege tanks, he's going for Mobius reactors, and also has double engineering bays on the way. The upgrades are a little bit behind as far as the attack for the Terran player, which isn't a huge deal. He just needs to make sure to hang on to his third base as long as he can. If he can sit back on this third base for just a little while, I think he'll be okay. But the one thing he has to watch out for is lots of drones being produced by our Zerg player. And also another thing he needs to look out for is these sneaky infestors, which are now going inside the main base. The Zerglings being used just for pure distraction purposes only. These infestors will most likely either spew out infested Terrans or start using fungal growth. A couple of SCVs going to go down as well, as these SCVs are forced to run away. Look at this burrowing Zerglings right here just to be annoying. This is the multitasking of Spanishiwa. He is so good at this. Here come the infested Terrans right now. Will be able to clean up these SCVs, it looks like. And at the same time, there's some Zerglings attacking down over here. SCVs are getting massacred right now. Almost every single SCV is going down. Poor building placement also cost those SCVs their lives as they tried to escape, but they really had nowhere to go. And the infestors just chilling out over here. And look at this, Spanishiwa actually focusing down these supply depots just to do as much havoc in the Terran's base as possible. And these Zerglings are brought here. This is something I think a lot of Zerg players need to start doing more, is abusing the fact that Terran only has one mobile detector, and that is an extremely difficult to acquire Raven. And I mean, missile turrets at these locations would have been just fine, but for now, it is just, it's going to be difficult for him to deal with. It does look like this Banshee will get taken out, trying to kill one last drone. Does snipe it mid-shot, though. The Banshee does go down. Some infestors over here now can easily throw down some infested Terrans and also unburrow these Zerglings at the same time. Keeping in mind that these infestors are still here. The scan does reveal it, though, and these three infestors will get taken out, it looks like. However, the Zerglings unburrowing and completely massacring the SCVs during that. So a huge comeback by Spanishiwa right here, keeping himself in this game quite heavily. I'm almost afraid to look at the workers killed. 30 workers killed during this. The multitasking absolutely insane. He's even killed these rocks during that entire time, so he can start running down here. And during all of this, Spanishiwa, oh, Fleur was the fungal growth on there, killing almost, oh, not killing the Marines, but getting them in the red, so one more would kill them all. Zergling's got to run in here and clean this up. This Ghost trying to survive, but he says it's getting too hot. I'm tapping out of this game. He falls down and dies. And now Nova is forced to back out. At the same time, though, Nova is running down here with all of his siege tanks. This infestor is more than happy to throw down some fungal growth. He does just that, trapping the siege tanks and the Marines. Look at how much damage that did to just these units. Even the siege tanks suffering at the hands of fungal growth. There is nothing fun about that, but Spanishiwa needs to make sure to deal with these slow siege tank push from Nova, especially if Nova continues running his units over here. He is behind in supply. However, the Zerg player not as far ahead as you would think he might be at this situation in the game, especially after how much damage he's done. So Nova needs to try to intercept reinforcements, or try to send reinforcements, but they may very well be intercepted by Spanishiwa. Look at the Spanishiwa using fungal growth again on all these Marines. What was once a million Marines is down to a single 2. We'll see if 2 is the magic number, though, with these 2 Marines trying to take on this entire army, being individually microed around, because at this point, that's all that's really left. That Marine taking a siege tank shot to the face like a champ. One infestor over here trying to figure out how he can attack these siege tanks, considering he doesn't have that much energy. And Nova, I think he's running out of options here. A drop, a really good idea, but the problem with trying to kill Spanishiwa is he gets so much static defense in times like these that it's difficult to do it. He already has one there, still has the one down here as well, and he doesn't have as much as I've seen before, but this drop apparently has one Marine in it. The other drop over here has many more. Will be able to kill the Queen, it looks like. We'll keep her selected at the same time. Where's that one Marine right there? He's like, I got this, guys. 5 kills. I get tacked down by the Queen. All the drones down here are going to get taken out, though, so Nova trying to claw his way back into this game. He is going to be reinforcing this with additional Marines. They do have that +1 attack. However, infested Terrans going to be killing off those siege tanks as well. And Marines are just one fungal growth away from being virtually worthless. Now Spanishiwa slowly pulling ahead even further and further. 119 supply to that 79 that the Terran player's kind of been stuck at for a little while. Hasn't been able to get this expansion. At the same time, the drop is continuing over here, but Queens almost feel like they have infinite energy at times like these. The Marines once again getting destroyed by that fungal growth. Spanishiwa really showing the power of the Zerg after some recent patches. And now he's going to be running down here with Zerglings. Does decide to back out, which I don't know if he saw this Terran wall in, but that was the wise choice. Don't even think these siege tanks can get out of here. They're so fat. However, Nova is going to turtle here. May try and get out more siege tanks than Marines. Not in a direct 1-to-1 ratio, but the fact of the matter is that fungal growth has been tearing him apart. He has been trying to use EMP on the Ghost. I've been trying to keep an eye on that, just because if you EMP the infestors, they are completely worthless, and they're not like Archons, or they're not like High Templar where you can morph them into Archons or anything like that. The infestors are literally worthless, can do absolutely nothing until they get more energy. But we do have the crackling upgrade, also known as adrenal glands for the Zerglings, making them attack much quicker, as well as melee attack level 3 and that armor level 3 for those Zerglings. So Spanishiwa continuing to use a lot of his gas not only on upgrades, but guess what, baby? He has an Ultralisk Cavern on the way as well. A nice little scan right there going to reveal a million Zerglings just sitting there waiting. And unfortunately for Nova, he just does not have a Raven. And these Marines just got the worst order in history in that they could have easily gotten surrounded by those Zerglings. They're going to unburrow and do just that. Does decide to back out, though. Spanishiwa playing it a little bit safe as he was trying to fungal growth those. Those Marines do not realize how close to death they were. And these Marines do not realize that Spanishiwa's, or that Nova's tank placement is preventing them from getting out of the base. Now, we do have a drop over here. This could do substantial damage. This is what I'm talking about. This is Spanishiwa I wanted to mention. Look at the static defenses here. How are you supposed to drop this with any amount of Marines? The answer is you absolutely can't, as there are so many spine crawlers. This dropship's going to be like, oh, cool, an expansion I can kill. But guess what? So many spine crawlers going to be there. 74 drones for Spanishiwa. I believe it was 40 for our Terran player, which is exactly what Spanishiwa does, is just create an innumerable amount of drones, and then he just replenishes his army nonstop. I believe that the medevac there just got completely annihilated, and this drop over here is trying to do some damage, but guess what? Safest working area as a drone ever. Maybe I should reconsider giving him the safest worker award, because these drones aren't dying anytime soon. But here comes the attack right now. Nope, that's just one infestor and a couple of Marines doing lots of splash damage. If you're wondering what he's doing with these infested Terrans, he's throwing them on top of the siege tanks so they do splash damage to each other, and sometimes you can get them on top of the Marines as well. Two random infested Terrans. I wonder if these two are going to do anything, as they're just kind of chilling out over here. I think the Ghost can handle them just fine. A little Ghost micro versus infested Terran. No, the infested Terrans. Oh, he does mind control one of the Ghosts, but it looked like the infestor did get sniped. Would have been funny if we saw the Ghost snipe each other, which is exactly what we're going to see. They EMP'd him. He mind controlled it and then EMP'd both Ghosts. It looks like it didn't take away all the energy. He's got to continue to try and do it just for funsies, but he just needs some fungal growth here to finish off this job. The EMP does go off on these infestors. Does miss one because infestors are so fat they don't take as much splash EMP damage. And right now, Nova is trying to get himself back in this game. 174 supply to 103, but the big bad ultras are here. Their chitinous plating has completed, and they are hungry for blood. 7 ultras on the way. Where are these going to pop out? Where are they popping out? 7 ultras. Boom, there's one. And I guess not all of them are popping at the exact same second. But this is really where Spanishiwa's game style is. It's very difficult to stop as a Terran player, especially if you're behind at this stage of the game. It is not easy to stop 8, 10 ultras on the field. We have 6 on the way with 7 on the field. You guys do the math, because that equation equates out to total ownage, which is what I think we are going to see here in just a second. 184 supply to 113 for Nova. So it's just kind of whenever Spanishiwa wants to put him out of his misery, I think he will be able to. And I really got to hand it to Nova. He's been trying to do lots of multitasking. It's just that Spanishiwa attacking all the mineral lines at the same time, he wasn't able to defend it completely, and that is why you're seeing the game that you see right before you now. This is so many ultras. Queens, these are the 4 original queens, and I feel like that's some sort of movie. These 4 original queens, I believe, from the earlier in the game. However, they have been added to the ranks, so we have the newbie queens in here as well. They have full energy, so you think these ultras only have 500 HP. Wrong. They have a lot of energy for heals as well. Trying to do a lot of damage here to these drones, is mowing down quite a few, and fungal growth is going to have to be used here to stop these Marines from killing off all of the workers, but fungal growth is really good, and we'll clean those up. So the Queen's actually getting in on this one as well. Will prevent this drop from doing too much damage. The nice thing is the Queen range on, if I can click on a Queen here, on her air attack is 7 range on that, so you can snipe those down. Keeping in mind that Colossus is 9 range. With thermal lance action going on, so that just shows you how far they can throw their little darts. I think it even said that the darts are poisoned. Is that right? I think it said poison acid spine, so that's not something you want to lodge in your medevac. But another drop over here. I really like this from Nova. Trying to do drops, isn't able to escape there. I mean, what are you supposed to do against a base like this? He can't drop there. He could drop up here, but these bases aren't really doing anything to begin with. 185 supply for Spanishiwa. Our Terran player most likely scratching his head, not quite sure what to do. He does want to try and wall himself in. Not a bad choice, but the problem is trying to wall in down here is virtually impossible. I do like this, as it does mess with the AI a little bit. If you tell them to attack, they're just going to instinctively run down here, which is exactly the meat grinder that Nova has set up, and that is really cool by Nova. Nova's been playing this surprisingly well, I would say. He's been reacting pretty good. It's just that he wasn't able to do enough damage to his professors. Here comes the attack right now. So many Ultras, not as many tanks as Nova would need to hold this off. It looks like Siege tanks do additional damage to Ultras, but the Ultras have that 5 armor, 3 attack, which means they can just mow their way through here with those giant hugs of death, and that is exactly what we were witnessing right now. Some nice EMPs. It does look like the Ultras have been whittled down more than I expected, as Spanishiwa is just trying to run in here to finish the job. And really, all he's doing right here is, even if he loses these Ultras, it doesn't matter, because guess what? He just killed all the workers right there. There's going to be the GG. 11 Ultras still on the field, and you can see that Nova, even if he ran back here to kill these 3 Ultras, or 4 Ultras, I guess, I mean, you're still going against so many Ultras. And there's upgrades on the way for Overlords for Spanishiwa. Look at this. He has 3,000 minerals, 4,000 gas. I'm sure he has a bunch of larvae sitting around that he could have easily made into more Ultras. So you would have seen about this many more Ultras on the field in a matter of seconds. He did have the Spire, so he could have got Muteless as well. And Spanishiwa's style of play, man, against Terran and Protoss, it looks like players are having a lot of trouble with it. So Spanishiwa showing another really great game. And thanks to Spanishiwa for sending this game. So much fun to see this. He actually sent me this almost 2 weeks ago. Just been so busy with the moving and not having internet and all of that I wasn't able to cast it until now. So thank you to everyone who's been subscribing to, of course, this channel, but also my alternative channel, which is youtube.com/husky. That's where I'm going to be doing a lot of vlogs and different games and things like that. Once I get completely settled into my new place, I will be making videos consistently as the old Husky would. So past Husky, I want to make him proud. So current Husky is going to do his best for future Husky to be making a lot of videos. I think that made sense, and I'm going to stick to it because I love all 3 versions of me. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Let me know in the comments below, do you still like watching Spanishiwa? Do you want more Spanishiwa games or what? All right, later guys, and I'll see you guys next time.